Hi, we'll see in this video how to create scatter plot in R. For that we'll use a data set. We'll use the car cells data set. Let's see first how it looks like. So this is the data set for car cells. It's got different information about cars, make, model, size, horsepower, weight. So we like to plot how horsepower is related to weight of the car. Alright, so the two variables of interest to us are horsepower and weight, and this is how we reference a given variable in R. So we first uh, take these two variables and then we will plot the scatter plot. So the syntax is very simple here. We'll use the function plot, and then here we see the x in the x-axis, the variable in the x-axis, and then followed by the variable in the y-axis. Okay, you can change it also depending on how we want. Alright, we want horsepower to be in the y-axis, weight in the x-axis, and then in the graph, right, we also want to label it, right, label the graph with y lab is horsepower of the car, x lab with weight. So you can give any name you want depending on the convenience, depending on your requirement. Okay, so let us run this. So this is how it looks like. So horsepower, as you can see, we have labeled it, right, horsepower of the car, and here in x-axis you see the weight. And what you see here is that horsepower is increasing with weight, right? There seems to be a linear relationship between horsepower of the car and weight, and horsepower of the car is increasing with weight. What we can do also is that we can fit a regression line to this, and that will give a better picture, right? Oftentimes that is very helpful just to see the trend. And to do so, we'll use the function AB line and also the function LM. So LM is used in the linear regression. Those who are familiar with linear regression would know that in R we use LM function for that. And then we start with the y-axis variable. Here it is horsepower, and then weight, which is in the x-axis. Okay, so let's run it now. Now you see the regression line that goes in between these points, right? Those who are familiar with regression, is basically a line that fits the data point in such a way that the difference between the distance of the data point and the regression line is the minimum, right? The sum of the square of the distance, and it includes all the data points. Okay, so it closest resembles the data point, the pattern in the data points. Okay, so that's how we should interpret. One thing to remember here is that to see keep the order of the variables. For example, if you interchange it, you're not going to get anything. Okay, let me do this. So if you simply interchange weight with respect to height, you're not going to get anything. So the regression line is not going to be appearing on the graph. Why? Because here we see, we have defined x and y, right? So we cannot regress x with y. We have to always regress y with x. Those who are familiar with regression would know this, that y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable, and the assumption here is that x variable is a fixed variable. It's not a random variable. Therefore, you will not get a regression line in that case. But otherwise, if you keep your y and x correct, then you will always get a regression line. So that's how you create a scatter plot and you fit a regression line to two variables. Thanks.